In today's video, we're going to be looking through the sprayers and the spreaders to see which is the best of each category. We're merging the categories today because there isn't really a huge amount to choose from the base game, but they are still important pieces of equipment on your farm, and you're going to know which one to go for to get the most value for your money. Starting with sprayers then. When looking at a sprayer, it is important to realize what a sprayer can actually do. There are a number of pros as well as cons that come with spraying a field. The first major pro is that most sprayers come with a really large width, allowing you to cover vast amounts of area much quicker. This does come at a price because mostly liquid fertilizer and herbicide do come at quite a premium cost. The trade-off here, of course, being that the faster you can get a field done, the more efficient you can be. All sprayers can do both fertilizer and herbicide, and it is important to note when herbiciding a field, doing it at the right time can really maximize your overall yield and therefore overall profits. If you herbicide to get rid of weeds when they're in the later stages, then you will cost yourself an overall yield bonus because the herbicide damages the crop. Generally speaking, if you don't herbicide immediately after planting, if there are weeds growing, doing it there will allow you to get that maximum yield. Otherwise, it would be better off using a weeder, although physical weeders are much slower to get the field done. The way that I personally always do spraying and herbiciding is if there are weeds growing, I will fertilize the field first after sowing at stage 0 and then herbiciding immediately after. The reason why I do this is because it's much easier to see the ground change once you've herbicided, and that allows you to see where you've been much easier. Of course, if you're using assisted steering, then it's not really too much of an issue either way. But let's get into those different sprayers, seeing which is going to be the best use for you and seeing which is the best overall. Starting with the Mega 1200L by HARDI. This is a compact sprayer with only 1200 litres capacity. It does weigh 1.5 tons and it comes with a working width of 24 meters. It has a rather slow working speed of 12 kilometers per hour. Generally speaking, if you get this for only £30,500, you will then get the Mega 1200L tank on top, and you will put this on the front of your machine with the sprayer on the rear, giving you an extra 1500 litres. Alternatively, you can go for the HARDI Aeon 5200 Delta Force. This thing will cost you £74,000, has a working width up to 33 meters wide, weighs in at 6.1 tons and can hold 5,200 litres of your liquid fertilizer or herbicide. It runs at about 12 kilometers per hour. Next up, you've got your Amazon UX5201 Super. This one's a little bit more expensive at £79,500. And it has a massive working width of 30 to 40 meters wide. It will only run at 12 kilometers per hour, however, but it does hold 5,200 litres. That extra work width really is worth the extra £5,500. Next up, we've got one of the self-propelled sprayers in the game, the Agrio Dino 2 at £317,000. It is going to set you back a fair way. For this, you get 285 horsepower, a variable CVT gearbox, 275 litres of fuel capacity, a top speed of 50 kilometers per hour, 6,600 litres of capacity, weighing in at 11.7 tons, and having a maximum work width of 36 meters. The advantage of the self-propelled sprayers is that they can go a lot faster when working at 25 kilometers per hour. And lastly, in the base game equipment, you've got the Agrifac Condor Endurance 2. This one is the most expensive sprayer in the game at £420,500. It has quite a bit more horsepower at 400, variable CVT gearbox, 750 litres of fuel capacity, a top speed of 60 kilometers per hour, a maximum carrying capacity of 8,000 litres, weighing in at 14.6 tons and having an absolutely gargantuan 54 meters max working width. Again, this top speed is the same as the Dino at 25 kilometers per hour. These are a really impressive selection of sprayers, although I do feel like there are fewer in the base game of 25 than what there were in 22. Overall, then, the best sprayer for your money is going to be the Aeon 5200 Delta Force. It is £74,000, but for that you get a decent working width, a really good carrying capacity. The self-propelled sprayers are really nice, however on the base game maps you're not really going to need them early game for as much money as they are asking for them. Going for a bit cheaper option that still gives you pretty much everything else you could ever need is really the safe option here. There isn't a lot between the Amazon and the HARDI, but I just feel like the HARDI is better value for money overall. 33 meters is still a massive working width, and you're not really going to struggle to get your coverage anywhere else on the farm. If you do feel you want more capacity, you can always get that carrying tank and put that on the front as well. Looking at your fertilizer spreaders then, this allows you to be much more efficient on your farm. Solid fertilizer is quite expensive for what you get, but it lasts for so long that it still makes it incredibly profitable to use. You can basically get 1,000 litres, 2,000 litres of fertilizer, do a ton of contracts with that initial £2,000 payment and make quite a bit more in profit. Not only that, but fertilizing with solid fertilizer with most seeders that also take it allow you to get a number of jobs done at the same time. If however you want to go for a purebred fertilizer, this is going to be the list for you. Starting with the rather tiny SALEK RZK 300H at just £2,000, it holds a whopping 300 litres with a 14 meter working width, and it allows you to go 18 kilometers per hour on the farm. Next up, we have the Amazon ZA TS 3200 at £25,000. This thing has 3,200 litres of carrying capacity, weighs in at 573 grams, has a 42 meter work width, and a top speed of 18 kilometers per hour when working. This seems really good on the surface, but the 3,200 litres carrying capacity does kind of let you down, as you do tend to find spreading that much that you are refilling quite a bit. Next up, we have the Brendal K105 at £45,000 at base with a number of customizations you can do to it. This has a carrying capacity of up to 14,000 litres, weighing in at 3.3 tonnes, a working width of up to 18 metres wide, and a working speed of 18 kilometers per hour. Another bonus with the Brendal is you can also use this for spreading your lime, allowing you to get maximum value from your purchase. And lastly, we have the Amazon ZGTS 10001 at £65,000. This holds 10,000 litres, weighs in at 4.1 tonnes, has a 42 meter working width, and again a top speed of 18 kilometers per hour. Again, the working width does seem really good. However, it does go through that fertilizer much faster. As a result, you can find yourself topping up when you don't really need to, especially with the smaller fields on the base maps. This probably comes as no surprise considering I absolutely adored it on FS22, but the Brendal K105 in my opinion is still the best value spreader for your money. Carrying capacity, the efficiency of it, the decent working width, and the fact that it can also do lime as well really does make this the best. It is the cheapest of the bigger capacity carrying fertilizer spreaders and will really pay for itself after just a few jobs. If you put the extension on, you are probably never going to have to worry about topping up ever, especially on the base game maps. And if you put the 6 meter spreading unit on it, it will be so much more efficient with using that fertilizer, as you will cover a much larger area while still not using that much fertilizer in your jobs. This really is one of the best value pieces of equipment on the farm that you would be mad not to pick up if you ever get the chance. The only thing I'm quite sad about is that it doesn't have its bigger brother like it did in 22. One that could hold up to 18,000 litres and had a double axle. It was honestly one of my favourite pieces of equipment to use for larger fields. There is your best value spreader and sprayer in Farm Sim 25. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Ciao, ciao.